Folks, welcome back to Your Voice America. This is our campaign corner special. We have this every night. We're interviewing MAGA candidates that are working to win back that House from the Democrats. We want to retire Nancy Pelosi forever. Tonight we have Sam Williams. He is running for Texas 16. Donald Trump won Texas by 9 points in 2016, but in 2018, Texas 16 was solid blue and was won by 41%. By the Democrat. This is going to be a hard get for us, but we got to be out there fighting for it. Sam, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. It's weather out here is finally not El Paso hot anymore.
Yeah.
We finally got the cold front, so it's actually pretty nice today.
That's good. So El Paso is a super blue district, I take it.
It's been blue since the last time we were elected a Republican in El Paso was 56 years ago. I'm 55 years old.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So since 1965, it's been blue.
What makes it so blue there? What is it about El Paso that makes it so blue?
Bread and circus from the Democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way. Promise people free things and then don't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's been happening.
I tell you what, Democrat voters are long suffering because they get promised a lot and it never seems to get, delivered. And here Donald Trump has been delivering in spades. We just found out that, Hispanic businesses are prospering at an unbelievable rate under President Trump. And yet still there's Hispanics that will vote for Democrats because somehow Democrats are going to do something for me. You're like, well, I don't get it.
I don't either. And, I don't understand it. I mean, I served, the United States in the Army for 29 years.
Yeah.
And, regardless of who was president, that didn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
But when you get a Democratic controlled Congress, nothing ever gets done. I mean, and it's been the same for the past few years because we had a lot of rhinos in there that kind of dried up in 2018 finally.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot more in there. And these people that have been there 30, 40 years, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, Democrats make their living off of there being problems because you have problems and people need to depend upon Democrats if you solve the problems, and nobody needs to depend upon any Democrats anymore. So why should they solve the problem? What's in it for them?
I agree.
Yeah,
you got to fix the problem, and that's the thing. I've said that numerous times. If you fix the issue, then what do they have to run on?
Right. They don't. Yeah, and this is what pisses everybody off in the swamp about Trump is he's in there actually solving these problems. They're like, wait a minute, we're getting our budgets increased in the government. You don't get more money if you solve the problem. You get more money if you don't solve the problem. And you said, well, we could solve it if we had more money. Then you get a bigger budget next time, isn't that right?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. There's a lot of things we can do. It's like with the asylum laws right now in the 8 CFR. Very simple to fix.
Yeah.
Closing the loopholes that are in it or just changing a couple of sentences. It's not that hard. It's a very simple issue. We could close it up, be done with it, and move on to something else that is even more important.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about your issues. Border security. You want to strengthen using motion sensors, drones, and other tech to help the border patrols and ICE, and also fund using liquidated assets from drug and human traffickers. Talk to us about that.
I mean, this is how you get, and I think this was Donald Trump's theory on getting Mexico to pay for it, was with all of the contraband and stuff and these people, the fines, everything else, and the money we're confiscating, let's put that into that infrastructure along the border. There are places on the border that terrain is going to make it awful rough to put a wall up, but that's where the motion detectors and stuff came in. In Baghdad in 2008, 2009, I ran the Green Zone security program. So, and we used a little bit of everything. Walls work; they're a deterrent, but you still got to man the wall too. So, we've got to give that Border Patrol the assets they need to handle the problem.
Yeah. I will tell you what. Yeah, here's the thing: is the wall. Any wall can be overcome by an industrious enough person, but most people that are coming up from the southern border, families, women, kids, they're not going to be climbing a 30-foot wall. It's going to be determined. They're never even going to try. They're never even going to show up if they realize that wall's there.
Right. I mean, there was signs down in Guatemala organizing these caravans. Call this number. We'll get you to the United States. And they brief them on how to cross the border. Our local congressman allegedly has been going down to Juarez or sending staff. And it's ridiculous. You're supposed to be working for America, not people outside this country.
Right.
And I think that's
Right.
a lot of our politicians haven't figured that out yet. That they
No.
work for us.
Yeah, no, Democrats definitely have figured that out. We also understand a lot of Republicans haven't. We just found out that 15 Republican senators are trying to work with Mitch McConnell to pass new laws to get them to strike down President Trump of the use of the emergency laws
Right.
to fund the wall. I'm like, he's already got it. We're funding the wall. The DOD has approved. The walls are being built, and you still want to stop them, and you're Republicans. I just don't get it.
It's all, like I said, it's all bread and circus. It's whatever the flavor of the week is. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, money that's coming, and where a lot of people don't realize where that money's coming from out of the DoD budget, comes out of the Corps engineers.
Yeah.
It's not coming out of the installation budgets.
Right.
With that being said, a lot of the projects the Corps engineers do aren't here in
Yeah.
the United States.
Right.
So we're not spending that money overseas. We're bringing it back here.
Right.
And we're giving people jobs to build the wall.
Right. I know. It just makes perfect sense. And yet we have 15 Republican senators trying to stop it. It's staggering. It's staggering to me that Donald Trump has gotten as much done as he's gotten done in the last 3 years with not just the resistance from the media and the Democrats, but the resistance within his own party. It's crazy.
Well, and that's the thing. I think the party right now, overall, a lot of the people in the party, it's broken. That's why we haven't won here in El Paso. They don't want to put a good candidate, a solid candidate up that doesn't have some kind of questionable background.
Yeah.
Even last time they had a guy hit, 5 or 6 bankruptcies. I mean, do you really want that guy handling your money at that level? No, I don't. So that's why it really kind of got me into running for office in 2018.
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
I picked it up this time, and I had to get on the Republican ticket because we were so blue here. I was looking more down the independent road to try and cross that track.
Yeah.
But when you load the ticket up with 4 or 5 Republicans in a primary, all it's going to do is fracture the party. And we're seeing that in a lot of places in Texas. And I believe that a lot of those folks, when you look up their voting record, are not Republicans. They're not even conservatives. They're there to try and split that vote enough that we can't put a strong candidate up against like Veronica Escobar.
That's amazing. Okay, now you're up against one primary opponent. Your primary is on March 3rd, 2020, right?
No, I'm actually up against 4 right now, or 3 right now.
Okay, well,
3.
It must have changed. It must have changed from when I originally got my notes here on this. That's amazing. But
that much. And the thing is, we got a couple of them that haven't filed an FEC report since they announced.
Yeah.
Things like that. Things that are very, are these the kind of people we want to put in office? If you're not following the procedures that are in place for transparency, do you really want to put those people in office? I wish people would take a look at that and see,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, let's talk about your other 2 issues. Healthcare reform. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, healthcare, if you turn, we're getting close to 65. I mean, I got 10 years to go, but, we pay more we paid more into Medicare than we did into Social Security.
Yeah.
Right now they're talking about Medicare for all. That's not going to work. Universal health care is a bad idea, and a whole long list of bad ideas. But for our seniors, we're charging them for Medicare out of their Social Security check. You're down there in Florida, and I know there's a lot of people down there that are suffering from that. My mom's one of them. She lives in St. Petersburg. But those are things that I see that we can fix. We paid more money into those systems, and then they're taking it back, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
How many people?
The swamp. The swamp is very swampy.
Live long enough to collect any of those benefits.
Right. And I pay a lot. I'm self-employed. I pay double FICA. That's a lot, and it comes right out the top. It comes right. I can usually get my tax bill, my federal tax bill down pretty low because I have a lot of write-offs, self-employed. But I tell you what, that FICA, that you can't get away from that sucker. That is just there, and it's a lot. 15.3%.
Yeah, even being deployed, guess what tax we still paid in the military?
Yeah,
the FICA.
Oh,
we didn't pay federal income tax, but we had to pay FICA. They didn't drop that at all.
Yeah.
And then with the VA system too, as well. We have the choice program now, but here in El Paso, we only have a VA clinic. Now it's attached to William Beaumont Army Medical Center, but it's not a full-fledged VA hospital. The Army hospitals for the active duty military, not for us veterans. And it's been that way. And my 2020 Democratic opponent said that there was no support in Washington for a VA hospital in El Paso. Well, wait a minute. Isn't it your job to go get that support?
Right.
That's not my check anyway.
Crazy. Okay, education. You want to allow states to cater to their own educational systems and provide compensatory funding to states for high-need students. Tell us about that.
Okay. You take Florida's a good example of a one county, one district type system that seems to work fairly well. Mm-hmm. The Miami-Dade district is one of the largest districts in the country. 347,000 students. They got a four language issue more or less. Here in El Paso, and those kids outperform our kids in El Paso by 20% on SAT and ACT scores.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have to, we're dumping all this money. We spend $1.5 billion in El Paso County for 9 school districts in one county.
That's amazing. That's a lot of money.
Miami-Dade spends 1.2.
Yeah.
And we have 157,000 students. I mean, something isn't right. So we need to change how we're doing business to get these education goals set.
You're not getting the results that you should be getting from the amount of money you're spending.
No, absolutely not. And our teachers here, their pay is actually lower than the national average here in El Paso, yet we're spending above what per student what's spent anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, amazing. Well, Democrat policies are extremely ineffective. They're designed to be ineffective. They're not designed to solve problems. They don't get their power from solving problems. They get their power from perpetuating problems or making them worse. Yeah, that's their goal to create dependency.
Instead of people voting on emotion, might want to start thinking about voting on logic.
Yeah.
And the common sense factor is there, but if you make a decision based on emotion, what are the chances of it being the right decision?
Very small.
Exactly.
Emotion. I always say emotions make terrible leaders. Emotions are not good chiefs; they're good Indians. Yeah, emotions should. You make your decisions logically and let emotions support them and make you feel good about them and keep you in the game. But you never want to let emotions lead you because they will often lead you astray. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Okay.
Almost statement.
Yeah, Sam. How can people follow you on Twitter?
Follow me on Twitter at VoteSamuelWill1 is on Twitter. And they can also pick me up on Facebook. It's Sam Williams for Congress or Samuel Williams for Congress. Okay. Also, I have a YouTube channel now. That's Sam Williams for Congress as well.
Okay.
We've also got using WinRed for, contributions. That's secure.winred.
Yeah. Okay.
Sam Williams.
Samforrep.com is your website, right?
Yes, sir. And that's the easiest way for people to get through. Yeah. I mean, I kept it short. So and people want to hit the 4 button. It's not 4. It's Sam F-O-R.
F-O-R, right. Exactly. Okay, fantastic. Sam, thanks so much for coming on Your Voice America
I appreciate
today.
It, Bill.
Sure.
The more we can get people to understand that they need to open their eyes and see what's going on, the better off we're going to be.
Absolutely. Well, if you win that primary, we'll get you back on and interview you about the main race, the race to the finish. Okay, Sam, thanks so much, folks. I'll be right back in just a moment with the rest of Your Voice America. Thanks, Sam.
All right.